How are you doing today? I hope that you're doing super awesome. I hope that the sun is shining on you and you feel all of the good vibes that are coming to you. This next question I'm excited about. This is about Roundup posts, and I love me some Roundup posts, so let's talk about it. Can you talk a little bit about how you do Roundup posts? I know you say that they're a great kind of post to have on your blog, but I'm so lost before I even start. Pros, cons, how established does your blog have to be? What is the process? What's the protocol? How do you choose posts to feature, do's and don'ts, etc.? Woo! Okay, so I'm going to try to break this down as simply as possible. I do have my notebook or my whiteboard paper. I almost said whiteboard paper. What is wrong with me? I do have my paper here in case we need to dive in, but I don't think that we're going to need to. Okay, so let's talk about Roundup posts. What is a Roundup post? A Roundup post is basically like you've seen them all on Pinterest. I'm just going to use the example of a recipe post, okay? So we've all seen like the top 20 barbecue chicken recipes that you can make for dinner. We've all seen those on Pinterest. You see them on Google when you search for things. They do very well. And especially, hang on, we're a little fuzzy here. Get unfuzzy thing. Are we going to get unfuzzy? Yes. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Hang on. And all right, sorry. Okay, so Roundup posts are the ones where literally like everybody has seen them on Pinterest. We've seen them where it's for any different niche, you can have some kind of a Roundup post. The best shoes to have, the best suitcases for traveling with kids, the best sheets, the best cloth diapers, the best money saving charts, the best, like on and on and on down the line, paint colors, books to read. Those different kinds of posts do very, very well, especially on Pinterest. Yes, even now on Pinterest. In fact, if you go to Pinterest, I think that you're more likely to find some of those than you are to find like individual recipes and stuff, but that's besides the point. Or besides the point, yeah. So Roundup posts are just that. It can be a Roundup post of other people's blog posts. It could be a Roundup post of your own blog posts, which is really fun to do. It could be a Roundup post of affiliate links. It could be of freebies, of opt-ins, whatever, kind of the sky's the limit. But when we're talking about like Roundup posts in general, let's just start with the blog post Roundup. So where would you go to find other posts to be featured inside of that Roundup? Pinterest is a great way to start. There are also Facebook groups that you can search for. If you search for Roundup groups, blogger Roundup groups inside of Facebook, there's a lot of them in there. There are a lot of them inside of there. And you can go in there and post literally like I'm looking for in search of ISO is what it is. Blog posts with barbecue chicken recipes. And it's due by next Tuesday. Let's just call it next Tuesday. And people will see that post and leave their links. They're basically doing the work for you. Now, what you have to do is then go in and see if those are posts that you want to have featured. You don't have to feature all of them. Some of them, like I've done them before, and I've gotten people whose posts are like very bad. The picture quality is not good. And I didn't want to feature that on my site. So I just didn't feature that one person. There were plenty of others that I could feature. And so that's a really great way to do it. I've gone to Pinterest and I give full credit inside of every single blog post. Here, I knew I was going to need this. No, I didn't, but we're just going to go with it. So here's what in my site, here's what my blog post will look like. So this is what it's going to look like essentially inside of your blog post. So let's say you have a blog post that is 20 best barbecue chicken recipes. So at the top, we could call this the title of the post from the original creator, which we're not taking any credit for anything that they've done. We're not saying that this is our post at all. But so the name of the post, so let's just say that this one is like Memphis. There we go. That's a place that has barbecue. Memphis barbecue dinners, barbecue chicken dinner. And then there's a picture of it here because I like to do pictures. Some people don't like to do pictures, but from a user experience, I prefer pictures in Roundups, so I keep them. I'll also link the picture to the URL of the original poster. And then underneath of it, I will say, like, you know, if the site is Caroline's blog, I will say source Caroline's blog, and then with the URL to the original creator. This is an optional thing down here, but I do think that this is a good thing to have. Just going to put that out there. You don't need to necessarily do this part, but I add like a short little paragraph about the post itself. Like, thanks so much to Jane Doe for this beautiful, delicious looking Memphis barbecue chicken recipe, because this is a great place to add keywords. This is another place to add more keywords to your post, to add some links if you have affiliates or whatever you want to do. That's kind of what I like to do. This part is optional, but again, because of SEO and everything that we're doing right now should be geared towards SEO. Everything that we're doing as bloggers right now should be always kind of thinking about SEO, about keywords, about what can I do to make sure that the right people find this? How can I make sure that the people who are searching for this find my stuff? And that comes back to keywords. It just does. So this is kind of what it'll look like. And I'll repeat this same general thing as many times as I need to. I have some posts on my site that have like, I think that one of them has more than 100. I think a few of them actually have more than 100. But I digress. So if you do have a lot of them, it is something to remember that like having a lot of pictures on a page affects site speed. I don't, again, necessarily put a lot of stock into that as much as I put it into like the fact that I like to have the pictures. Like if I'm searching, again, coming back to the user experience, and this is just a personal preference. If I'm searching for the 20 best chicken barbecue recipes, I want to see pictures. I do judge books by their cover. I do judge recipes by their picture. And so, yeah, I want to see the picture. I want to see what it looks like, because if it's for chicken wings and I'm looking for recipes for chicken thighs, then there's no way that I want something that is clearly a chicken drumstick. And those are just kinds of things that like, and sometimes it's like, you know, I'm not looking for something that looks like it's going to melt the inside of my face because there's like a bunch of hot peppers around it or whatever it is. So I like to have the pictures. That's just me though. You can or can't, like that's kind of up to you. But as far as like best practices go, the number one thing that you want to make sure is that you are giving credit to the original poster. You are giving a direct URL to their site. We don't necessarily like, you don't have to do like a do follow link, because that's kind of like, you don't have to do that. I think that that's kind of up to you. But the big thing is you want to make sure that you are giving them credit. Reason being is because I've built a lot of relationships with other bloggers through doing Roundup posts like this. I've had plenty of people who have reached out to me saying, thank you for posting this. Like, thank you for sharing this. Thank you for featuring my thing inside of your Roundup. That was really nice. Whatever it is. I've never once had somebody, even if I found them through Pinterest, I've never once had somebody complain to me saying that I needed to take down my Roundup post because they were featured in it. That's never been something that I've ever encountered. I know that that's something that a lot of people are like really exceptionally afraid of, and I totally understand that. However, this is about making sure that they are clearly featured. This is not something that you are saying like, yeah, I made this. It might be taking you to a different person's website, but like, yeah, I made it. No. I like to be very clear about like, even maybe up here, like, you know, if it's Memphis barbecue chicken, I would put in parentheses the creator's name or the name of the site that I got it from or whatever it is. That's all kind of up to you as far as that stuff goes. So I love doing Roundup posts. They're one of my favorite things. If I feel like I don't know what I have to write about, I have to make a new post this week, I'll do a Roundup post. I will. And it's because, again, they're pretty easy to do as far as like you don't have to come up with a lot. Even these little paragraphs at the bottom, this little description, yes, it definitely helps you out to understand what the post is about. But remember also from the back end side, it is good for keywords. It also makes your post longer, which will, again, kind of help with the SEO stuff and everything like that. So I don't necessarily think that there's really a whole lot of cons for these. I do think that maybe like depending on the topic of the Roundup post itself, I think that it would be not harder necessarily is probably not the right word, but like getting people to sign up for your email list might not be the top priority for a lot of people. But honestly, it's really good for traffic and it's really good, especially if you niche it down. Like we're not talking about like, if you have a blog about recipes, should you have a Roundup post about the best dog foods because you're like, hey, I just want to write about this and I saw this and it's doing well on Pinterest, therefore I should do it too. No, because you want to make sure that the Roundup posts that you do fit underneath of that umbrella that is your niche, that is the topic that you talk about. Thinking about like I'll keep using my niche as an example. Why not? Personal finance. I talk about frugality. I talk about ways that you can save money. I can also talk about really great ways that you can cook food at home that cost like $5 or something to make for the entire family. That's a fantastic kind of post that I can do. I can do a post about the best money saving printables. I can do a post about the best personal finance books to read. I can do a post about the best podcasts to read. Best podcasts to listen to. All of those different kinds of things. I can do that with Roundup posts. So I don't view it as a bad thing. I don't view it as like a limiting thing. I do view it as a really great way to build relationships with other bloggers, as a really good way to work with people who you might not have been working with in the past or whatever it is. And yeah, just kind of have fun with it. It's a win for you. It's a win for your reader. And it works pretty well for Pinterest and SEO as well. So yeah, that's my whole thing with Roundup posts. I don't think that there's really any like things that you shouldn't do other than like, don't forget to link to people's work. If you're going to be using someone's image and their URL, make sure that you are giving them credit. Make sure that you say like, I found this amazing thing from Jane Doe's blog. It's fantastic. You should go check her out. That's another kind of like positive thing about them is, again, building that relationship. So that's everything that I've got about Roundup posts that I can think of when my brain is kind of mushy today, apparently. All right, guys. So thank you so much for sending in all of your questions. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Let me know. I'm here to help. And thank you guys so much for being here. It is awesome to see you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.